So we definitely came out of that visit like level, we felt like our equilibrium was back and we gave it another shot. Back to the Brooklyn Bridge.
And this time we met up with one of my oldest friends, Felicia. And she is actually a transplant from upstate where we live, and she's moved down to New York City, like a lot of people, to kind of live her dream and have a new work opportunity.
All right, here we go. Here we go. The old familiar town.
You can get so overwhelmed so easily by just trying to make everything happen. And after we had met with Sasha and Sarah, I just felt a lot more like, take a deep breath, step back, regroup, and try again. And it was awesome.
Close my eyes to find my way. Nothing comes, it's all so great. Back inside the stage. Pray for strength, release the bound. My words don't move, don't make a sound. Just empty shells bouncing off walls. They go nowhere, won't start, they stall. Full moon breeze, swollen chords, diving deep to ocean floors. Try to move the bounce, shake things up, just stir things up and I wake things up. Just a man, I'm passing through. I'm feeding lions in the zoo. You want some love, I got no love.
This is a lot different from where we live upstate. I mean, you moved down here from upstate, but you're from the same town that we are from.
Yep.
So this is like a whole different world.
It is.
What is it like and adjusting to being here?
It took a while, but once I got used to like my route to work, my daily schedule, I sort of became natural. So that's my building right here. I work at the Freedom Tower, and I live right down there. So my commute's fairly simple, but I have 2 trains that I take. And I get on the subway, I get to work, and then come home. It's like natural now. But when I have to do something new, like if I'm going to go to a show or a place that I don't know where it is, I'm still getting lost all the time. Sometimes you have to just get back on the train and go to a completely, like the wrong place, a place you've never been, see if somebody helps you there, or if you find another train nearby from some station that you've never
Absolutely.
been. Like there's times where I've come to Brooklyn, not needing to go to Brooklyn, but I have to find another train that will get me like up to the Upper East Side or something.
She shared with us a lot of interesting things that made you realize that even though we're struggling with all these issues that come up on a daily basis for us in the city, it also comes up for her constantly.
Yeah.
You can do everything right and
Still
still not get where you're trying to go. So
I'm definitely like 15, 20 minutes late to work. I don't sweat it ever because nobody's on time.
That's wild.
Yeah, I can never grocery shop. I can never actually.
do you see that? No, sorry,
What's
but
he
no.
screaming?
He screams for the people to get out of the way. He's like, get out of the way. He's like, what? I've learned to adjust and take that calmly now, but at least I know what to expect. These people are crazy.
Whoa, like
Yeah.
you fall over.
Yeah.
Inspiration is spent. It's when I count on my friend. It's when the money is dead. It's when I count on my fans. It's when I count on this land. It's when I count on my fan. And the seeds that we plant. And the words that I chant.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. There's a rooftop bar over there. You can be in the same place exactly and have such a different experience from one point in time to another, just based on the mentality and the headspace that you're in. And we are slowly like getting to a place where mentally our perspective is shifting, but also literally, physically, we're seeing things from different angles. And each angle is totally true and real, and you have to acknowledge it, the good and the bad. But it was just cool to be on top of that bridge and seeing the city lights come up and like feeling a little bit of the magic that, New York has to offer.
What did they say?
Well, that guy was really nice and offered to carry me up the stairs, but there is no elevator.
It doesn't seem like these rooftop bars are going to work for us. If they're saying they're going to carry you upstairs, I'm not doing this.
Are you looking for just like a view of the city, like seeing the lights? Do you need drinks?
Felicia had a little bit of a better idea. She wasn't playing with the small stuff.
We thought we'd seen the very top, but we hadn't actually been to the top yet. We're in a yellow cab, aren't we, Jenny?
Yeah, we are. This is our first yellow cab ever. We don't know how to catch them. We have problems.
Can you hear me through this tube? That's what I feel like back here.
That is so cool. I've never seen the ice skating rink up close. It's beautiful here. You can see why all the movies are filmed here.
We're headed to the observation deck at the top of the Rockefeller Center, so we're really excited.
The minute you set foot on that red carpet, you're like, I'm about to see things a little differently.
It's right in the middle of everything, but it also is like its own world. You enter in and then the vibe changes and the energy changes and you feel like all of a sudden that you're in a really special place and you're gonna be taken someplace outside of the element right on the street.
Salute everybody, straight ahead, right this way.
Not just for New Yorkers, but for millions of visitors from all over the globe.
And there's our elevator.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome to Top of the Rock.
Wow.
Hey guys, we're doing the 67th floor. Have fun and enjoy the view.
It was really beautiful and great for Jenny because a lot of the places didn't have exactly the best view, but it was like finally she could look out at the expanse of the city and it felt really amazing.
We're sitting up there, you know, looking around at this panorama that's in front of you. And, you know, you see all of the famous landmarks, the buildings that you know from the skyline. But you also see, like, your steps. You know, you're tracing your steps like, okay, there we are on the Brooklyn Bridge. There we were at Times Square.
And again, perspective. You look down at Times Square and it's literally just a dot of light. And that place that you sat that you felt like, what's going on? I am being overwhelmed by these lights and this noise and this advertisement. And you realize it's just this tiny little place in the city, a huge city. Well, we started from the bottom.
Now we're here. I can't believe you let me do that.
Yeah, it's acceptable in this case to be quoting rap lyrics.
When we were like at the very bottom of the city, it looked a hell of a lot different than it does from right here. It's been incredible how much ground we've covered. High and low and in the middle, and up here you just see everything sparkling, lit up, you know, on display for how glamorous and glitzy and really just like impressive it is.
Definitely.
You know, there were moments that we maybe weren't impressed with the city.
Many moments that I was not impressed with the city. It's hard when you're in this fast-paced New York, like move.
Come on!
And there's everybody honking. And that's great in a way because it keeps this city thriving and for what it is. But for us, it's not necessarily our ideal pace, but we've had a lot of fun. I feel like we've traveled a lot of it, but I know we haven't even put a drop in the bucket of what New York City is. We
Scratching the surface.
Definitely scratching the surface, but it feels pretty good. I wouldn't suggest scratch and sniff, but scratching the surface nonetheless.
It was really a special experience for us, and I can't think of a better way that we could have ended our time in New York.
After going through it all, we could stand at the top, appreciate each other, appreciate the surroundings, and just take it all in. We'd seen all the sights, we'd eaten all the treats, you know, we'd gotten immersed into the city that has made such a name for itself because of its diversity.
And I really can't emphasize enough, there are worlds inside of worlds in that place.
And there's a lot of ground to cover, and there's no way that you can possibly cover all of it. You just kind of have to pick what New York is to you, and that's exactly what we did.
Just like there's a different view on every street and every corner, there's a different perspective in everybody's life. But we're running into the same obstacles.
So it's not just mobility, it's closures on the subways and questionable routes and traffic and all these issues that come up constantly.
And interfacing those things together and connecting and sharing those challenges, that's huge for us wherever we go.
Absolutely. When you network, when you share stories, there's nowhere but up to go from there. It's been great to visit with friends who've made their lives here and see how successfully they've worked handling the city into their day-to-day life.
When I hear that they're dealing with their obstacles in a way that makes sense, I feel like we deal with our obstacles in a lot smoother way.
This is a city that requires you to be thinking on your toes all the time and pressing forward with a mentality of like, I'll think of the next solution, because it's big and there are a lot of opportunities to go a different route.
Being really ready for change is definitely a necessity in New York.
Key.
Yeah.
It's key. And if you let it overwhelm you, how can you really have a good time? You really can't. So you just have to be able to take those things as they come and adjust. The city is never going to stop moving. It's never going to stop changing.
The only thing that really is possible to change is your own look at it, and your mentality and your approach. It's got to be an intentional thing. You kind of just got to adjust the way that you handle it. Whenever you make those little adjustments and course correct and really clear your head, you're going to see a totally different outcome.
So it is all about that perspective. And I think that was something that was really important to get a handle on. And I feel like traveling this city and learning these things, we are a little bit more citified in the end to be able to take on the next destination.
Wherever that might be. We'll see you there.
See you guys there.
I am Captain Uber of the Uber Force. I'm your Uber driver, and you will listen to Uber. I take anybody anywhere they want to go, as long as they're not too nuts.
Wow.